Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here. Welcome to another edition of What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility, the show here on SOT, where we take a look at some of the greatest new releases, sometimes not so great, in the worlds of heavy metal, hard rock, classic rock, progressive rock, jazz fusion. We cover a wide assortment of different styles and subgenres here on the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the brand new release, which had been overdue. We've been eagerly anticipating this for a while. The brand new release from the Dead Daisies called Holy Ground. All right. Pretty cool cover. Nice packaging on this. All right. Of course, very notable because I had a bit of a lineup change, last year and a half or so. John Corabi has kind of moved on. I guess the whole idea of the Dead Daisies has always been to be a revolving cast of musicians that kind of come and go when they can and contribute. So, of course, John Corabi, who had sang lead vocals on their previous two releases, has moved on to other things. And in comes none other than Mr. Glenn Hughes. There he is right at the front. So, of course, he joins Doug Aldrich on guitars. All right, Glenn on lead vocals and bass, Doug Aldrich on guitars. Doug, of course, has played with Whitesnake, Ronnie James Dio, lots of other different projects. You got David Lowy, founding member, also on guitars, and Deen Castronovo on drums, backing, and lead vocals. Of course, Deen with Journey for many, many years. So let's take a look through. Okay, not full lyrics here, which is kind of interesting. They decided to kind of go a little on the cheap side in the booklet and not print all the lyrics, but they give you a website where you can kind of go to find all the lyrics. They basically say, so join up, get your password, be part of the family to get the rest of the lyrics. thedeaddaisies.com, right? Can't say I've seen that before. For a full set of lyrics, please visit thedeaddaisies.com/lyrics. Okay, I mean, whatever, So, although, if you're out hanging out by the pool or in the kitchen or in the car or whatever, and you want to kind of glance at some lyrics, you're obviously not going to go to your computer and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a strange thing not to include them in there, but whatever. Really good album. So I don't think I've ever heard the very first Dead Daisies album, but I have and have listened to quite a bit. There's second and third releases. I like the second album a lot. The third album I kind of dug when it first came out, and then I realized that I really didn't enjoy it as much as the second album. However, Holy Ground is a totally different story. It's like, holy moly, is there anything on this earth, musically speaking, that Glenn Hughes touches that doesn't turn to liquid gold or absolute gold? I mean, it's like if you're going to get Glenn Hughes to join your band or appear on your album or tour with you or whatever the case may be, you're going to dial that up a notch. The quality of that's going to get kicked up notches unknown to man. That is the case here with this. I think this is so much more immediately enjoyable than their previous album, which was solid. I mean, you got 11 tunes on here. It's the heaviest thing they've ever done. Kind of, if you liked Glenn's last solo album, Resonate, and liked the real heavy, hard-rocking nature of that album, that's kind of what you get here. All right? His bass grooves, thunderous all over this album, but more importantly, that voice, the voice of rock, is everywhere on this album. Doug Aldrich's guitar work, riffs and solos, killer. Just every song is just like an absolute winner. Grabs you by the throat. You got Holy Ground, kicks things off. Amazing. Sets the stage for the rest of the album. You got Like No Other, okay, which has this amazing kind of bass run from Glenn. The guy is a serious bass player too. It doesn't just have the voice, right? You got Come Alive, Bustle and Flow, My Fate, snarling heavy rock track, Chosen and Justified, Saving Grace, Unspoken. The first 8 tracks, absolutely cranking. Loads of great, heavy rock riffs. There's a slight bluesy edge to this album as well, as you can imagine. But we're talking 80s hard rock, heavy rock with a slight bluesy edge. It's heavy stuff. Big fat riffs. Big fat bass lines. Thunderous rhythms. And those vocals. I mean, let's face it. Glenn is no spring chicken. He is in his latter 70s. And he sings just as good as he did 30, 40 years ago. It's just uncanny. Then you got a cover here. So they do a cover of 30 Days in the Hole. Of course, an old Steve Marriott classic from classic Humble Pie days, right? And on this song, you've got Deen Castronovo singing lead vocals, with Glenn helping out in the backing vocals on the chorus. All right, but then you've got Righteous Days, which, is track number 10, might be the best song on the album. Big and heavy and catchy. And then really the only mellow track on the album is Far Away, the last track. It's kind of like moody, melodic kind of piece, really nice. It reminds me of some of the more melodic stuff on, the Black Country Communion albums, and certainly some of Glenn's solo stuff. But, man, and some sizzling guitar solos from, Mr. Aldrich on here, him and his cohort here, God, I forget his name, Dave Lowy. They have come up with a wide assortment of amazing riffs on this album. The songwriting is really good. Like I said, these songs are really, really memorable. Everybody's taking part in the songwriting. The strange thing is, I just got this in, literally yesterday. I've listened to it a handful of times already, feeling really good about it. And then they just announced, it was either last night or this morning, that Deen Castronovo has left the band. And in his place, we've got Tommy Clufidos. Of course, Tommy has played with just about everybody, very notable for being Black Sabbath's touring drummer when they decided not to go with Bill Ward for the Long The End tour. He's also played with Nugent and Alice Cooper and Rob Zombie, and, a great drummer. It's just weird how, when a band kind of puts a new lineup together, they release a new album that's, kind of because of COVID and whatever else has been delayed. It's finally here. Everybody's hearing it. Everybody's excited. And now one of the main members is leaving. And, apparently he put out a statement saying, how, sorry he was to have to leave the band, and best of luck to the rest of the guys. But apparently he's going to go have some kind of minor back surgery. And being on the road so much over the years, he's pretty worn down. So he's going to go take some time off to go spend with his family, get the surgery done, recuperate. Maybe we'll see him back in the band at some point, but for now, Tommy's going to jump in and take over, and I think a fine choice. And so we'll see where they go from here. Hopefully they can get out on the road at some point after COVID kind of dies down a little bit, because I think we'd love to see it. And judging by what's on this album, can't wait to hear these songs live. This is Kick-Ass, Holy Ground, from the Dead Daisies, supergroup, fronted by Glenn Hughes. Kick-Ass. Check it out if you haven't. It is now available. I think it just went on sale about a week or so ago. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. Coming up tonight on the channel, we got a very fun show planned for you. So I'm going to be doing another show with Jack Toledano and Craig Seibert. Today's topic is a fun one, kind of a sports-related one. So picture yourself as a top baseball player playing for a major league team. What would you pick as 3 songs that you'd like in your repertoire for when you walk out of the batter's box and come up to the plate? Okay, so that kind of like that intro song for you as you come up to bat. All right. When your team is coming up to bat, when they leave the field, go into the dugout, and you get ready to go up and hit. Most baseball players have specific songs that they like to be played when they come up to the plate. So Jack, Craig, and I are each going to pick 3 that we'd love to put in a rotation for our at-bat songs. Okay, and part 2 of this episode is centered around the Super Bowl. So we've seen lots of different artists and bands play at the Super Bowl in years gone by. Some pretty good, some pretty awful, some memorable for things that had nothing to do with music. We're each going to pick who we would love to see play at Super Bowl halftime. Obviously not this year, but maybe next year. And then which band from the past that's no longer with us would we have loved to see play at Super Bowl halftime? Okay, so we're each going to give 2 examples, one of a current band, one of a band not around anymore. So that's coming up tonight. Join us later on tonight, probably about 9 o'clock, 9:30. That'll be live on the channel, so check that out. What else is happening this week? Butch Jones and I are going to be doing our top 10 favorite album closers of all time. Those kick-ass songs that finish up a great album and make it even more memorable. That's coming up on Thursday. Sydney Taylor and I are going to be doing 2 shows tomorrow, ranking the catalog of Bad Company. Top 10 songs of Mr. Big. We've got some Monsters Den coming up. Holiday horror. Those holiday horror films. Rich Catino, Chris Allo, and myself, we're each going to give 3 examples. A triple header. All right, triple feature from each of us of holiday horror classics. Martin Popoff coming back on the channel for a fun show this Friday morning. Stay tuned for that. Rich Catino and I are going to be ranking the catalog, the studio albums of Candlemass this weekend. Lynn Versace and I are coming back on Sunday to do basically the opposite of the show we did this past Sunday. So instead of heavy songs from non-heavy bands, now it's going to be mellow songs from heavy bands, our favorite 10. So that's all coming up and more. Then we've got a great show planned for the Monday night Must See TV with the Hudson Valley Squares on Monday, coming up next week. It's going to be all about a discussion about physical media versus streaming media versus digital downloads, the whole collector ideology, right? How do you listen to we're going to talk about how we listen to our music, how we buy our music, how we watch movies, how we play our movies, the whole physical versus digital versus streaming. We're going to all talk about what our habits are listening and viewing. That's going to be the topic of conversation on Monday. So stay tuned for that and a whole hell of a lot more coming up. So you don't want to miss any of it. If you haven't subscribed, please do. All right. Also consider possibly donating to the channel if you'd like. We've got a Ko-Fi link in the video description below. Also, let those ads play, people, so we can get some a little bit of extra dollars to help us out here on the channel. Let that 30-second video play if it comes up on the beginning of the video, or if you get a little banner at the bottom, leave it up there for the duration of the video. That would greatly help us out as well. So thanks, everybody, for all of your attention and likes and all that stuff. And it's all because of you that we're making this thing go. We're almost at 53,000 subscribers. We're going to keep marching in 2021 to 100,000. So make sure you tell all your friends who haven't been on here yet to come join the Sea of Tranquility community. All right, and lots of good content coming up. So we'll see you all real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.